Class of 2020, congratulations, you've done it. You've made it through school, you've graduated, you're gonna move on to bigger, better things. You guys got a bright future. Don't listen to what anybody says. Don't listen to all the fear and hysteria and doom and gloom on the news, on social media, from your favorite music stars, from your favorite actors. You know, just don't. Your social media influencers that you follow, ignore it. It's not all doom and gloom. People have been saying it's doom and gloom and it's going to end forever. I mean, all the way back in the early 1900s, they talked about global warming and climate change and how we can't control it. And it's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. You know, it just repeats itself. It cycles. Everything goes in a cycle. It's not. You guys have a bright future. It's yours for the taking. It truly is. You know, you guys were born into a world at war. The United States was at war when you guys were born. Just about every one of you graduating this year were either born in 2001 or 2002. The United States is at war. We're still at a war. We are in the longest going war in the most countries in the history of our nation. Guys, you can change that. You can be the change maker. You're a new generation. You have been shaped by things throughout your life that make you who you are. You can take those experiences, you can take that knowledge that you have and the knowledge that you're going to gain, and as you grow into the adults that you are now, you can bring change. You can say enough of the status quo. We're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to. The same old is just not going to last. We're not going to do it. You guys, you're not the millennials. The millennial generation is the generation ahead of you. You're not the millennials. You've got the opportunity to prove yourself, to show that you are smarter, that you're harder working, that you're more reliable, that you're more stable, that you're a much more steady, rational people. Don't fall into their shadow and follow in their footsteps and be who they are. Be who you are. Be yourself. Make your own decisions. You know, the millennials have a bad reputation, but you guys can build your own reputation. People can look back and say that your generation was a much better generation. You could be, you could be the change makers. You can change medicine. You can change government. You can change the way the church functions and operates. You can change the way business handles. You can change the course of technology. It's yours for the taking. Take it. Pursue your dreams. You have a dream. Put a plan in place to make that dream come true. You know, set a goal out here and then set steps to make a plan and steps to make it to that goal, to that dream. Now, don't be so rigid that you can't change the plan to get to the goal. Sometimes things happen, right? The military has there's a thought in the military that goes something along these lines that says, if your plan has survived the initial contact with the enemy, it won't survive. So plans, they're a great benchmark for you to meet certain steps in the bigger picture of your dream, of your destiny. But things happen in life, and sometimes you have to change your plans to get to the end goal. So there's a young man I know that he wants to be in the fire service full time. He wants to be a paid fire, and he had a goal, had a plan in place that by this certain date, he'd have all the classes that he needed that was required by the state to make it, to be able to get in the fire service by a certain date. Well, things happened. The coronavirus came along. We were given wrong information by people, by a lot of people. We were given some very, very bad information, and a lot of people panicked. They became fearful because they listened to all the hype from the media and from certain politicians and from celebrities, and it hijacked the portion of their brain that handles emotion, and that portion, that's where your fight or flight is, and they became fearful. And once that happens, you can no longer think rationally. Well, as a result, a lot of places that do classes in continuing education for different careers, they canceled all their classes till further notice. That wrecked the goal. That wrecked the plan. It didn't change the goal, it changed the plan. Now the plan has got to be revamped to get to the goal. So remember that. Things might happen. You may go to college and decide you can't stand the college you're at. You might be in a tech school and decide I can't stand the school. You might go to the military and decide that you hate it. You're not going to stay. You're going to do something else. Those are just a couple steps in your plan. But keep your focus on the end. And don't give up. Keep pursuing it. People are going to tell you you can't do it, but you can do it. People told Henry Ford he'd never do it. He went bankrupt multiple times. But yet we still have the Ford Motor Company. We still buy Fords. And Ford bought multiple other car brands along the way. But yet we still have Ford. Ford has survived. He's not the only one that was told you can't do it, that you can't make it, that you're not going to be able to do this or do that or whatever. You're going to become a failure. Steve Jobs. If you're not familiar with Steve Jobs, if you have an Apple product, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is now dead. But in the early days of Apple, Steve was fired. And he went to work for a competitor. Well, Apple was fledgling, they're going to fail, so they went and they hired Steve Jobs back to his old company. His dream never changed. The plan and the steps to get there did. So don't give up. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your hopes. And the people that tell you can't do it, separate yourself from them. You don't need that kind of negativity. Now, when you go to college, you go to tech school, you go to the military, there's going to be people that are going to ridicule your beliefs and ridicule what you stand on. They're going to say it's ridiculous and it's not true, and they can prove it to be false. And they take great pride in making you uncertain, and to where you become a non-believer in what you formerly believed in. Those kinds of people, sometimes you can't get away from them, especially if it's a college professor. See, they have tenure, and they don't have to have a justification for giving you a bad grade. They just give it to you because they don't like your political affiliation. They don't like your religion. They don't like, I don't know, you pick it, whatever. So here's the thing. If you're going to argue, be sure that you know exactly what you're arguing about and you can back up your argument. If you can't, don't engage in the argument. Just stand firm in your belief. Let them do what they're going to do. But by all means, if you can back up your argument and you can stand firm and not waver, then debate. If the grade's not that important to you, if your concern is the diploma and you're not worried about the grade, then go ahead and do the debate. The same thing goes in the military. You might have people above you that don't like your faith or don't like your political ideology, and they will make it difficult for you. And you got to make a decision whether you're going to fight or you're going to quietly stand firm. But whichever you do, make sure it's a decision that you can live with. Make sure that in the future, when you look back on it, you don't regret the fact that you took the course of action you did. Now, don't you live your life being fearful that you're going to have regret. We're all going to have regret. Everybody has regret. If they say they don't, they're lying to you. We do things, we don't do things. We look back on it in the future. We look back on our past and we really wish we had done this or wish we hadn't done that, or we had that opportunity and we didn't take it, or you name it. There's things that you're going to do or not do that's going to cause you regret. The important thing is, don't look back at that and be stuck looking backwards at your past and get hung up on that regret, because you will miss the future. You're going to miss what's in front of you. So yes, every now and then you can look back at your past and be like, man, I wish that. That's okay. It's a learning experience. It helps define who you are and it helps define the decisions you will make in the future. But look ahead. Look to what's coming and make your plans and use that regret to help make a better decision in the future. Keep in contact with your family. I know sometimes family is strained, but it's still your family. It's all you have. One day you're going to realize that your grandparents or your parents are no longer with you. They've died and they're gone, and you'll never get to talk to them again. And you're going to regret that you didn't talk to them more, or did you get to know them, or you didn't spend time with them, or you didn't make that phone call. And you can never go back and fix that. And that's going to linger with you. Do yourself a favor, no matter how busy you get. Make time to just catch up with them, to talk to them. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't even have to be every week. But be intentional about that. Be very intentional about it. Don't neglect it. The friends you have now in high school, some of those friends will stay with you through college and on through the rest of your life. Some of those friends will not. Some, you're going to grow apart. Your lives will go different paths, and you may keep in touch with Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, or whatever new social media is going to come out in the future. You may still keep in touch, and you may move away, and then when you come back home to where you grew up, and you may see them and may get together for a couple drinks or a cup of coffee or whatever, but you're not going to be tight like you were in high school. That's natural. It's okay. It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. See, the people you're in school with right now, most of those you're friends with because you're stuck together. You've got no choice, no options. You don't know anybody else. You have a shared experience. You see each other every single day, right? It doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't mean that you're going to come to dislike them, but you're going to meet other people as you get to discover who you are, who you truly are, and your true likes and dislikes. And you're going to gravitate towards those people and have a whole new core group of friends. And then you're going to leave college, leave the military, leave tech school, go into the workforce. And you're going to meet new people there, people that you see every day on the job, and you'll get to make the choice whether you're going to befriend them or not, or be a recluse. I'll tell you this, people are designed for community. We're designed to be around other people, to visit, to talk, to fellowship, to interact. It's not healthy for us mentally, emotionally to be separated from people. We're designed to be in community with each other. It doesn't matter if that community is you living in downtown Manhattan, or if that community is you live in Wyoming and you have 15 people in your town. But we're all designed for community, to have interaction with other people. Don't neglect your mental health. There's a lot that's going on in your life so far, and a lot to make you think that this is as good as it gets and this doesn't look too promising. Our society is divided more so than I've seen in my life. I can remember the Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan election. We're more divided than any other time in my life. But we're not so divided. If you talk to people, you'll find out that you have a lot of the same beliefs with people of a different political party, or people that support a different candidate for this office or that office. But you'll come to understand that if you just talk to people, you're going to understand that your core beliefs oftentimes are very similar, but you have different ideas on how to get to that point. So here's my thing. When you see that you're starting to get angry and want to disconnect and pull away from certain people, all because of what they put on social media, or all because they support a candidate for office that you don't like, then you're allowing the people in the media and social media influencers and entertainers to hijack that portion of your brain that deals with your emotions. You're no longer thinking with reason. You're no longer thinking rationally. That's what's divided our country. See, they spend a lot of money to understand how to gear things towards us. They'll affect certain areas of the brain to make you keep tuning in. As long as you tune in, they can sell advertising space on their programs. And the more advertising space they sell, the more money they make. They don't care how divided we are. Matter of fact, the more divided we are, the more we tune in. And the more things get pushed under our nose that we don't see until it's too late to stop it. That's why I'm going to encourage you guys. Actually, I'd love it to see if you all just completely unplugged from social media altogether and just made a generational statement. And if not, use it for good. You've got the choice to use technology for good or for bad. For the betterment of society and the nation and the world, or for the worse. You guys are part of a global culture, a true global culture, more so than any other time in history. No other time in history, until your generation, could you pick up a cell phone and you could broadcast and see exactly what's happening in Hong Kong as it's happening, or in Tokyo, or in Barcelona, Rio de Janeiro, or San Francisco, or New York City, or Buffalo, or Raleigh. Guys, time means nothing anymore. Distance means nothing. We are a truly connected global community. You can use all this technology for good and the betterment, or you can use it for the worst. Don't let the power go to your head. Power corrupts. That's what we see in Washington, D.C. right now. Power corrupts completely if you're not careful. With that, I wish you guys the best of luck. You 2020 graduates, it's been tough. You missed a lot of important things, but you will persevere. You will succeed. And I wish you the best of luck and many blessings.